May I ask you this question? I'm one of the victims of the people who went to Middle East. And you said if you become the Minister for Foreign Affairs, you will go to Middle East. I think the problem here are the so-called cartels here and in the Middle East. Our people leave this place, and as soon as they get to Middle East, their passports are taken. And, you know, they move from one house to the other, one house to the other. So I think what you do is basically tell us what we do with the cartels that are exporting our people to that place. As I'm talking to you, I have a cousin of mine whose body is lying in the Middle East. Secondly, on a different subject, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to find out what's happened to the visa. You know, the countries that are so-called very friendly to us, when they come here, we have no problem. But when you want to get a visa going to some of these countries, including a neighboring country like South Africa, it takes such a long time to get a visa. Sometimes you don't even get a visa. And some people even end up being stranded at the airport because they get there and there's nothing. They can't go back. They can't come. And so they spend 2, 3, 4 days, imagine, at the airports. So what are you going to do about that? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Good.
Thank you, Chair. Dr. Mutua, I would want to ask you 1 or 2 questions. We've got countries which normally offer us scholarships, university scholarships, college scholarships. Some of the friendly countries are India, Cuba, Algeria, Pakistan, Hungary, amongst others. I remember a couple of years back, the Indian High Commission telling me there were 100 vacancies for technical training colleges in India. But the scholarships can only come through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But when I went to follow up with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I was told they were not available. But the Indian High Commission told me they were there. And many like them are there. So what criteria is it being used to distribute those scholarships to deserving Kenyans and not being hawked to people to buy them? Because if it's not going to help the ordinary citizens and it's going to be hawked or sold to people, then it doesn't help at all. Secondly, our balance of trade. Many countries, our balance of trade is in favor of the other countries. What do you think you will do to even market our miraa so that our farmers in Nyambene can and Tigania can at least get something out of miraa, because that is one thing which is, I think it is at the core of our government as well. Thank you.
Dr. Mutua.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, there's a question about labor migration and Kenyan jobs. It is quite instructive. I watched the morning interview or vetting whereby Mheshimiwa Musalia Mudavadi talked about the 480 billion shillings that are remitted from overseas, 350 to 480 billion shillings. Actually, the diaspora remits more money to Kenya. It's our chief foreign exchange earner than even coffee, tea, and others. And we'd like to grow this, but need to be done in a very, very organized place. And so it is important for us to take advantage of this. There is no system as there is in Philippines, for example, whereby the government goes out to teach people how to look for jobs overseas and also train them and give them opportunities to find jobs. So if I am confirmed, I'm going to set up a unit in the ministry to teach Kenyans and also guide Kenyans on how to secure jobs overseas. How do you qualify for a job overseas? How do you become competitive? Because Kenyans are very bright. Kenyans are very well educated, they are very good, they can get jobs and they can remit money, but they have not been given an opportunity and shown. I'm also going to ask our embassies to be telling us, so we can tell Kenyans and publish widely, of opportunities that Kenyans can be able to look at and be able to go into the private sector, but also more so into the United Nations and other international bodies, so that Kenyans are also over there. One of the things that we'd like to do is also, we'd like to get our Kenyans overseas to save, because they're remitting a lot of money. Our president has been talking about Kenyan saving. We'd like to also get our Kenyans overseas to also save. Let them save here so that we can be able to borrow that money that is saved here, or use that money. We've been talking about an infrastructure bond for years. We'd like to get that infrastructure bond realized so that Kenyans overseas can